Hello. Just wanted to document a process that I don't love process-wise because it's a lot of work and I'm a little too fast-paced and floaty in my mind of a person to do this kind of work. But, and it's also just a lot of pressure, I think, because I always want these things to be beautiful if I'm going to bother doing them. And I love this one. It worked out. Just a little lyric booklet. And it opens up to the inside. Yes, this is intentionally upside down, as you can see, since the words are in the clouds and the water's on the bottom. And then it goes around and around and around and around and around till the end. That's my lyric booklet, and here's an example of one of the discs. And yeah, when you open it, it's got the disc inside. I guess I could do like an unboxing. Wait. I don't know what I look like, and I didn't really set this up well. For this moment, let's try it. So here it is. So you open it. It's kind of sticky. That just makes it a little safer since it's handmade. And then here's the booklet. And then here's the, handmade disc. Picture. That's how they fit inside. It's like a little kind of origami box. I'm not really well positioned to be doing this, but, and then it goes inside of its little sticky plastic sleeve. It's just sticky at that one spot so that it holds, right at the top. Like a little resealable stick. And that's it. That's handmade merch. I've been doing this. I'll do an unboxing on my own. So for a long, long time I've been doing this and I've never been making myself copies. And it made me really, really sad when I realized that I had a fan once who bought all 12 of my 12 albums in 12 months and of course felt like deeply honored. And then maybe months later I realized I didn't even have copies for myself. I have the first one. It's like a prototype. And I thought I was going to write out all the titles, but they're not even really titles. They were just me reminding myself sentences from the lyrics that, were in the song so that I could remember what the songs even were. But anyway, yeah, over the years, after that experience, that was a little over a year ago when James bought all 12, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even have copies. So I started collecting them in my Smurfette lunchbox, just the ones that I've made. Like, this was a version of the Friendship 3-disc collection that I made for anyone who contributed to the Friendships. And I reintegrated them from volume 1358, 269, and 447. Those are the 3 volumes, and I reintegrated them. Oh, this is where I had written who it was to and said, like, thank you. So I said emails on that. Anyway, yeah, made myself copies. This isn't even fully what Time in the Sky looked like, I don't think. But I have this booklet. It's just not done because I'm going to finish orchestrating that one. Mixtape for charity. Not my friend Charity. Oh, I have 2 of those. That's another mixtape for charity. That was the one that Brian produced, and this cover is by Ryan Wyrick. This was volume 47, a.k.a. 365 Days, volume 6. Ryan Wyrick, you're such a genius. I love your work. Matt A. Jackson made this cover. Another brilliant artist. Yeah. This was volume 269. I don't think I have the other one because it was a cover I made. But anyway, I liked that one too. This was the first of the 12 albums in 12 months. I made myself that one. I didn't do much to these because, like this, I never even finished making. I just threw it in there. But But this was, you know, I had already sold a few copies of Childhood, and I never saved one for myself, so I printed pictures of me as a kid. Wow. It's probably my favorite. Plus stickers. Rainbow sweatshirt, like my bedspread. Thanks, Mom. Me with presents, alone at my own birthday party. I think, I don't really remember. There's me winning my first statewide songwriting award. Wisconsin, 5th grade. Oops. I think. Oh, maybe Where Does the Sky End was 6th grade. I don't remember. Anyway, I won the statewide songwriting award for 3 years. And those were my famous childhood years. 5th through 7th grade. Before I had lots of social problems. But as a little kid, before I got so serious, I wrote Casio Pop, and I think that phase is more like this version of me. Or this version of me. Which I think is what I've been returning to, although I just became a very serious person because serious things happened. Anyway, what else? Oh, my joke greatest hits album. I mean, the songs are real, but I took this art that a fan made me. He took some lyrics from, gosh, I think this is just People Tangled in the World. And he took those lyrics and then made this wild art. It's pretty amazing. Chris Stress. Yeah. So I collaged a cover out of it. Those are my doodles around it. But yeah, oh, here's the songs that are on that one. Galen Leah, actually, this is the one that she listened to pick me to open for her. So that's cool. Which is why I made it, because my Bandcamp was looking so scrappy at the time, and I was embarrassed to submit to, you know, get to open for somebody when my Bandcamp looked so scrappy. This is probably one of my favorite albums conceptually and from an idea perspective. And I was 8,000 or more, I don't know how many feet up into the mountains at the time. This is the album cover. It's a super lo-fi album. Oh, it's called Colorado Dreams. Or no, sorry, Colorado Feelings. I also made one called Michigan Dreams. It's not in here because I never made myself that one. Oh. But yeah, anyway, so this one is songs I'm obsessed with, but it's only all entirely written on that keyboard, and so I would like to, which is my niece's keyboard that I've been, well, she finally got a real keyboard, but that was what I taught her piano lessons on for a long time. And so when I was visiting Colorado and their family for the first time, I wrote this whole album, because I think it was month 8 out of 12, I wrote the whole album on that keyboard. And then I have a cute uncropped version of this album cover where my nephew is like down here in the picture, like hamming it up because he wanted to be on the album cover. I gotta find that. Maybe I'll put him on the other one when I redo it. I don't know. Anyway, oh, and then this is an album that I meant to release since way back a long time ago. Oh, I was gonna say it was originally called December 2015, and then I realized, oh, I guess it is called December 2015. I released too many albums, but actually the reason I forgot was because, not too many, I believe it's the right amount. I like how many albums I released. But it was written in 3 days in December 2015, but it also, it later became an EP called December Songs, all lowercase, one word, December Songs. And it's just going to be, I recorded them at Third Coast Recording Studio. It's just this one, Composing, Decomposing, and Intentions, i.e. Already True. But it's not finished. I think Brian started mixing it and working on it with me, but then we kind of grew the idea a little too big, and now it needs too many edits, I think. Anyway, that's my box for myself. And I have to make another copy of one of these for Steve, because he ordered this and that. That's what this feels like. It feels like art projects, and it feels very slow, and it feels very like loving, I guess you could say, like self-loving. And I think that's actually just really hard for me. I think I don't like being slow, and I actually don't think it's that I don't like being self-loving. It's that I don't like days being dedicated to old ideas. And that sounds really sad and lame, I think, in a way, because these were new ideas on a different day, you know? But it's hard for me to wake up and ascribe a day to working on something from April or June or whatever. It's very hard for me to do in July. Like in July. But this is part of how I became such a prolific writer. So I don't judge it. Maybe someone else would, but I don't judge it. I just think it's a little hard to live inside of, because the whole reason, you know, like I was quote unquote supposed to be working on something else when this album was written, and now this is one of my favorite albums that I've written. So I still want to finish the thing that I was supposed to be working on that day. I even got like $800 from people to finish it, and I want to mail all these cool things to people, these t-shirts and these albums, but there's something about the pressure of making a capital B big deal about things. I was going to say capital B big and capital D deal, but whatever, you get my point. So, whereas this I didn't make as big a deal out of, but even making this much of a deal out of it, it turned into a source of pressure, and then I went kayaking instead yesterday instead of getting these mailed out on time, because that's like, I can't handle that kind of pressure anymore. I don't know. It reminds me too much of like giant research papers from college in my music history class, and then having a professor say, oh my gosh, this is amazing, and want to publish it, and then tell me all these ways I should get it published, but then it never got published. Like, I don't want to sound too sad all of a sudden, but like, or like the musical that I wrote for my honors thesis, like that never got published anywhere. That's not still being performed. So it's these things that take up too much of my now that other people might think are some sort of brilliant thing that should, quote unquote, be something more than it is. And then through that kind of external pressuring, you know, submit it for this, or polish it up and do this with it, or, you know, make a better score so that it's really easy for other music directors to play, and do all this work, give up your now for your potential later. But then in most cases, I don't know why, maybe it's wrong information or just dreamy people giving me advice instead of practical people giving me advice, but none of those led to something. And by that I mean money or more things being done with those things. And I'm not a money-oriented person, obviously, maybe if you've looked at my life or watched my videos, but I am a logic-oriented person. Like, it's not logical for me to give up my now, give up my joy, to do extra hard work for things if there's no need or demand for it. Like, if someone told me, we want to resurrect your musical from college and we will pay you this amount, or we will perform it in these 10 places, if that were said to me, then yes, I would do that work because it would have a purpose. But to do that work just for posterity, when I don't even believe that the world is going to necessarily preserve me or preserve anything about me, like, I'm not going to go down in history most likely. The odds of that are so insanely slim. Even just, you know, not to be bleak, like as if it were a lottery, whether or not I would win that lottery the way a Taylor Swift or somebody would have won it. But like, even separate from lottery, like, I don't even know if that's how the world's going to operate anymore. If we're just going to save work from people, or if the world's just going to move too fast that no work's really going to get saved and everything's just going to be in some giant catalog in the sky like Spotify or Apple Music, and it's not about any one person being known anymore. I think it's just about this whole wonderful, I don't know, like collection of everything. So I can't live for whatever those fame dreams were that were sold to me, but I still like to create work that I love, that I believe is good work. I have to stop whenever it starts to feel like it's coming from the wrong places, wrong motivations. Anyway, and that's an insight into... Oh, here's the disc burning. There's one that just came out. Well, it came out 10 minutes ago, and then I rambled. And then I gotta put them in a pile to... Whoops. Last one. Whoops. I only made 8 copies. Well, 6 copies, but 2 for the price. Okay. Once it shows it float. My computer's kind of old, so I have to be gentle. And then there's the pile I have to check. That's the pile I did check. I have to write on them. Alright. This is the biggest reason that I don't do this very often, is the workflow that I need to organize in order to do it. The mailers, the discs that are already checked, the discs that are burned but not checked, the discs that are in a stack. You know, how to organize and get the lyric booklets to work out by scanning them correctly and printing them and flipping them correctly so that both sides, you know, so that it comes out right on each side and isn't upside down. The cases, the cardboard cases, but also and then taping these little sheets onto it, having little extra ones to tape inside. I forgot about those. The sleeves, it's just like, that's all just to make 6 handmade little copies that I'm selling online, you know. And it's like, obviously it's not a financial reason that I do this. Like, obviously it's some sort of weird labor of love. Like, I'm wanting to just like mark this moment in time and hold it for just a little longer than it would otherwise be held. But I'm also tired. I am definitely the bird in these lyrics. Is it like wings on a tired bird, reborn but not wanting to fly? I think I feel that way a lot of the time. I feel very reborn. Very, 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 very like I could cry reborn. Like, I feel like I understand who I am now. And I understand that this has value. And I spent most of my life feeling like this didn't have value. Even though I thought it was wonderful. I felt like it, because it wasn't being received in a way that made any sense to me, I thought that meant it didn't have value. I thought that other people not being into it meant it didn't have value. I thought that only a handful of people being into it meant that it had a very small value. As opposed to, if a handful of people are into it out of the billions in the world, that might just be that you haven't found your people. Or it might just be that it's more for you and those few people, and that's okay. And it's sad. Like, I've also been trying to act like it isn't sad, but it is sad. When you've run out of air in your lungs, like, it is sad when you've tried for a really long time. Wait, there's a tried and tried and tried. Oh, that's in that one. Yeah. So, it is sad when you spend most of your life devoted to creating what feels to you like art, and the world doesn't either want it or need it or literally just doesn't know it's there, you know? And then with all the quarantine thoughts and feelings, imagining your own death or the deaths of those you love, and just moving on. And trying to leave behind words to remind people to be brave and to be themselves, even if it hurts. It does. It does hurt. If you decide to be yourself and the world doesn't seem to receive it, it does hurt. And to act like it doesn't hurt is a big old fat lie. It does hurt. And I only started to reflect on those thoughts because someone I love and admire asked me, like, how I'm even able to do that. And they didn't say it in a mean way, but they're just surprised. How are you able to just keep going and keep doing things and seeming, I don't know if they said optimistic or hopeful or just like I'm not upset, when most people aren't responding to how much I put out in the world. But I guess that's where I first started to really reflect on that. It's like, well, I don't know. I don't understand how a salesman goes door to door and tries to sell things just for 10% or 1% of the time getting a sale. Like, I don't understand that. So the same way you maybe don't understand how I can do this, keep putting myself out in the world without some sort of global fan base. Which I do actually have a global fan base. That's just like one person. No, wait, now I think it's 2 in Japan, 1 person in Canada. There's 1 Eastern European fan. There's 2 from Italy. No, wait, 2 are from Italy, but 1 lives in Portugal. Like, whatever. It's not that. It's truly not that. I mean, these are being mailed out to people in multiple states, but small. My life is small. And if I'm honest, small feels safer to me. In a world where it's very easy to be, in a world where it's very easy to be judged right now. I feel like the most famous people are being judged the most of all right now. So, I write my own rules. I write my own play, my own story. And that's what I've been doing. Changing my mind, changing my truth, being what I need to be so that I can be okay. Anyway, there's my unboxing. Bye-bye.